Hey everybody, my name is Fred with Bristol Artisan Co in Bristol, Tennessee, and I'm a CAMaster customer. Today we're going to do a really fun holiday related project. We're going to carve a sign out of high density urethane. We're going to do some two-sided machining, carve a 3D relief, and cut a piece of aluminum composite. And when we put all these things together and light this sign up, it's going to look like the kind of sign that Santa would have had on his workshop in 1960. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is take a quick look at the drawing and talk about some of the tool paths. Then we'll fire up the CAMaster and let the magic happen. So let's start by carving the 3D Santa face. This is a third-party STL that we purchased and imported, then we scaled it up to the size we needed. Now Santa's face ultimately gets glued to the main body of the sign, so there's a couple of things that are going to happen on the back side of Santa's face. We're going to drill some holes that will correspond with holes on the main body of the sign. That way when we glue Santa onto the sign, all we have to do is drop in some pins, turn him over, and drop him down. He'll be perfectly aligned, and we don't have to worry about him slipping around because of the glue. Now in order to do this, we have to do something else on the back side of this carving. We have to drill a couple of holes along the center line that will correspond with holes that will drill into the spoil board. And that way we can drop some pins into the holes, and then when we flip Santa over, he's perfectly aligned so that we can do the carving on the front side. To carve Santa's face, we're going to start out with a roughing tool path, and what that's going to do is just clear out all the material that we don't need, and then we'll end up with the canvas that will become Santa's face. To do the roughing tool path, we'll start out with a 1/2 inch end mill. Then we'll follow that up with a 1/4 inch ball nose, and that tool is what's going to render the detail in Santa's face. We're using 1.5 inch material for Santa's face, so he's going to have a lot of room to really pop out. We're carving to the boundary of the model, and we're also carving almost to the bottom of the material. One of the concerns that I have, if this represents the waist and over here's the carving, when we come in here with this 1/4 inch ball nose, that this waste material is going to interfere with the collet nut. The way we overcome that is we're basically going to open this up on the clearance tool path by creating a boundary offset. That's going to give us some breathing room when we come in here with this 1/4 inch ball nose so that we don't have any kind of interference. When we run the finishing pass, we're going to do an offset tool path. No particular reason on that, it just seemed like in the simulation it was going to run quicker. The ball nose is going to step over 25 thousandths or 10% on each pass, and that will yield us enough resolution for what we're after. We're going to come back and paint Santa's face, and this artistic painting is really going to bring out the detail that we want. Moving on to the main body of the sign, we're going to use 2 inch high density urethane. Now we're going to carve some stuff in the back of the sign, and to do this we need to start out by drilling some locating holes along an axis on the back of the sign that will correspond to holes that we drill into the spoil board. That way we can drop pins into the spoil board, flip the sign over, and have perfect alignment so that we can carve the face of the sign. On the back of the sign, we're going to be carving some channels for our wiring. And if you look at the drawing from the front, you can see how these channels align with where we're going to be pushing wires through from the top. Now all these channels are going to be about 3/8 of an inch deep, and they will all converge into the center into a compartment that we're going to create about 1.5 inches deep, and that compartment will be for all of our electronics and drivers and all that. At the top of this compartment, we're going to offset a pocket about 1/8 of an inch deep, and that will be for a cover plate that we're going to cut out of aluminum composite. Once we're finished with all the carving on the back and flip this thing over, this is where the fun begins, because now we're going to start bringing this sign to life. The first thing we're going to do is drill a couple of locating holes in the center, and these are the holes that correspond with Santa's face. After that, we're going to run a pocketing toolpath. We're going to pocket down in the main body of the sign about 5/16 of an inch. And what this is going to do is it's going to start lifting out all the detail. It's going to lift out the letters, the ribs, the center disc. All this detail is going to start coming out. We're going to create this pocket by running two separate tool paths. The first tool path will be with a 1/2 inch end mill, and this tool is going to clear out almost everything that we don't need. When it finishes, the machine is going to change tools to a 1/4 inch end mill, and this tool is going to sharpen everything up and bring out the detail. This sign is lighted with a flexible LED light, and we've got to create a place for these LEDs to live. We're going to use an 1/8 inch end mill to cut a pocket along the ribs that run through the sign. We're going to take about 3 passes, and when this is finished, we're going to have a channel that we can press the LED lights into. Once these channels for the LEDs are carved, the machine's going to go back and change tools to a 1/2 inch end mill and cut out the main profile of the sign. The last thing we're going to do is make a cover plate for the electronics compartment on the back of the sign. We're going to use 1/8 inch aluminum composite for this. We're going to cut some holes in it for heat to escape, and then we'll cut the profile out. And we're going to do all this with a 1/4 inch O-flute tool. Now that we have all the parts cut out, it's time to get this sign painted and assembled and do the big reveal. I don't know what else to say except wow. I'm so happy with the way this thing turned out. I love the detail in Santa's face. I love the way the letters pop. I love the fake neon LED lights. Hey, let's turn the lights out and check it out. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned something, and most importantly, got some of your own ideas. On behalf of Bristol Artisan Company and CAMaster, we want to wish everyone happy holidays and the best new year all year long. Thanks for watching.